I'm going to be doing a video today of well, actually, first of all, I've got some stew meat that I need to eat up, and I'm going to be using the same book because I kind of went through this book and kind of picked out recipes I might like to try, and it's out of Table Talk and Tidbits. So the information about this book was in the last video I made on that Ren Tum Ditty. Anyway, I'm going to be making something they call, and I believe it's a Chinese recipe, and it's called, let me find it here. I'm holding this phone camera in my hand, so it may be kind of jittery. I'm kind of moving around. I didn't set my gear up just right because I'm going to just start this, and I'm going to cut away and cut my vegetables up. But let me at least tell you the name of this, if I can find it. Okay. They call it, in this book, well, you can probably just see it. It says Hong, I don't know how you pronounce those words, Hong Shao Niu Ru, braised beef stew. And it's got some pretty neat ingredients. It's got, I don't have turnips, so I'm going to have to leave the turnips out. I wish I had some turnips, because I made some other stuff that had turnips in it. It was really dang good. This has got stew beef. I don't have suet. I've got some kind of oil, yeah. Soy sauce, yes. Carrots, no turnips. Potatoes, yes. Parsley, yes. Celery, yes. Onions, yes. Ginger, raw, yes. Molasses, yes. And red pepper. Okay, so the first thing it says to do is you soak put some soy sauce in my stew meat, which is right there. So, I'm going to set the phone down for just a second. You won't be looking at nothing. Let me get that ready here. All right, let me give you something to look at while I'm doing this. No, it won't stand up. Well, anyway. I'm just going to lay it down here. It's just going to blank out for just a brief second. Okay, I'm back. I had this calls for 1/3 cup of soy sauce to put over this these beef stew beef, and I guess you kind of let it marinate. It really didn't say to let it marinate. I probably will while I'm cutting my vegetables. So I'm just going to kind of mix that around there. Kind of cover that. Oh shit, it went everywhere. My stew meat ain't exactly completely thawed out, but they're thawed out enough. Now I'm just going to kind of let that marinate, I think. Let that marinate and see what that looks like. And then I'll get back with you here shortly. I'm going to cut my vegetables up and see what happens. Alrighty. Okay, I've got all the vegetables cut up. And, you know, I let this meat kind of soak in this soy sauce. Actually, I was supposed to add salt, but, you know, soy sauce got so much salt in there. I didn't add that salt, but for a single serving, it said to put about 1/3 cup of soy sauce and 1/3 cup of salt. Well, I just let the salt out. But Actually, this recipe in the book, it's got a recipe for 50 people. I mean, it's a huge recipe, but they break it down to one, a single recipe, I guess. And so, that was it. And it also doesn't say to add the soy sauce in here. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the, I'm going to add some oil to the pan right now. And I don't know, what kind of oil do you cook with out there? All I've got is avocado right now and some olive oil. But some people say don't use all olive oil for cooking. It ain't for cooking, I don't know. I did watch a recipe on some fried rice, and this guy says to use peanut oil. That's what he uses. And he may be right. Next time I make some, I haven't got peanut oil yet, but I'm going to buy some. I have bought them before a long time ago and used it. But I'm going to get some more peanut oil and try cooking with some of that. Probably gives it a pretty good flavor, I would guess. In fact, it might even be good than this. What kind of oil do you use in stewed beef? I'd like to know. Right now I'm going to use my olive oil. Let's see how much did it call for? Let's see. It called for just 2 tablespoons of suet and vegetable oil. I guess that means just 2 tablespoons for both? I don't know. I'm just going to guess. I'm going to put a little bit more in there because I'm going to have to be using that same oil, I believe, to get some these vegetables kind of going. Now this doesn't call for any flour, but I'm going to add a little bit of flour once this gets going. I suppose you can add that later on to thicken it, but I'm going to add it while I'm kind of... hope this pan's big enough. Oop, that ought to be enough oil. Olive oil, I think. Hang on a second. Okay, that was probably about 1/4 of a cup or more. In fact, I may be adding more anyway. We'll see how it goes once I get this done and start adding them vegetables. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to turn that pan up. I'm supposed to brown this meat. Brown the meat's what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to turn it up to medium. I'll wait till it heats up a minute. And then I've got all my... Another thing I don't know about, I'm going to have to Google this here in a minute before I do it, but it calls for... on that ginger root, I guess you're supposed to peel that ginger root. Heck, I don't know. Never used the root of it before, I don't think. I guess I'll peel it and then put that in there. Okay, I'll show you just the start of this, and I'll cut away. I won't bore you with the details while I'm browning this meat. But it's got some pretty good ingredients, you know. It's got molasses. That sounds pretty good. Parsley. Molasses, I'm using Brer. Can you see it? Brer Rabbit. I don't know if I got enough in that bottle, but I got another bottle up there. I'm using some parsley. Some red pepper flakes. And some, well, I got ground ginger here. So, but I bought that root to put in here, so I'll probably use the root. I thought this called for some other kind of ingredient. I guess it didn't. I guess it was the soy sauce I was thinking about. I put that back already. Okay, so let's see how this goes here. Some of this meat didn't really get soaked down in it very good, but that's alright. It'll flavor it around. Yeah, it's browning up. I hear it sizzling in there. This is going to be really salty as it is, so I don't think I needed that salt. I really don't. Of course, the thing is, salt may have some kind of a chemical process when you're cooking food. It does something to it. I don't know the science behind it. You know, I read once a little story about Barbara Streisand. I guess they asked her if she could cook, and she says, "No, I don't know how to cook." I'm not sure what she said. She may have said she don't even know how to boil water. She says, "I don't cook," but she likes to read cookbooks because she likes the chemistry behind it. And so I guess she just likes reading about all the ingredients and what you do to it and how you cook it. Okay, so I've got all this in there now. Alright, the meat's in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. I got the meat browning in there with the soy sauce on it. So I'm going to break away here for a minute. And while this is browning, and then I'll get back with you. Okay, I'm back. I've browned that meat for quite a bit. I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see? Can you see what that meat looks like in there? Maybe you can. It's pretty brown. There's really a lot of soy sauce left on, so there's quite a bit of water in there. I mean, liquid from the soy sauce. So I browned it, and I cooked it for about, I don't know how long I cooked it, but till most of that liquid was gone, and now it's just kind of a nice little thick, syrupy type of a soy sauce down there. And now what it says to do, it says to add carrots, potatoes, and turnips. I don't have the turnips today, but we'll be adding the carrots, potatoes. Now, I got my celery cut up in here. I thought I was going to be cooking this all at once, but it doesn't say to do that. So I'm going to have to kind of pick out the potatoes and carrots and put them in here. So I'm going to add the carrots and potatoes. Try to leave the celery in there, because it goes in last, I guess, along with that, the rest of the ingredients, the seasonings. So right now I'm just adding the carrots and potatoes. It said to cut these things up real small. I didn't do that. I left them kind of big. I know they'll cook okay, but I probably should have cut them up a little smaller, really. But you know, sometimes it's nice to eat a big old chunk of vegetable instead of a little bitty tiny piece. Okay, so I've got all my potatoes and oops, there's slipped a carrot now, celery in there. Put it back. You got to go in later, according to these directions. I've been watching a few of old Justin Wilson videos lately. He's funny. What did I watch him make the other day? What was that? Well, I watched a couple of them, I think, but okay. So I got my celery left. That'll go in here in a minute, later on. Okay, now it says to brown these carrots and potatoes. So I don't know how brown these are really going to get, as big as they are, but I'll kind of cook them up a little bit without trying to, I don't want to burn that soy sauce. Oh, that's what I was going to say about old Justin Wilson. I think I mentioned this in the video of that Caribbean pot roast that I deleted by accident, and I didn't get to post it. But I think I was talking about it then. I saw Justin Wilson make this roux till it was black as molasses. And he says, it's not burnt. He says, you don't want to burn it, but I don't know how he got it that black without being some kind of burnt, but yeah. And I think it was just flour and maybe the oil. I can't remember exactly, but I mean it was black as molasses. And so I'm going to try that sometime. This soy sauce right now kind of looks like that. Well, I'm going to turn this up some. Maybe I can kind of brown the edges or the bottoms of some of these vegetables. And then it says to add water, enough to kind of cook this stuff, I guess. I probably should have put this in a slow cooker, but I didn't do it. I was following these directions. So I'm going to kind of brown all this again. And maybe I can brown some of these vegetables. And if I don't get them too brown, that's all right. I'll add the water. And then you cook this until the meat's tender. I don't know how long that would be. That might be for a while, huh? But once I kind of get this going here, I'm going to, I don't know what brown soy sauce tastes like or burnt. Probably don't have a very good taste, I don't know. I'm just going to kind of brown them a little bit, heat them up probably. I don't know how good I'm going to be browning these. Now this is sort of a beef stew, I guess. Well, you know, I better stop because it's I believe it's running out of that juice down there and it's getting kind of burnt. So I better add the liquid now. So I'm going to be adding a lot of liquid to this. So that stage of it might not turn out too good. We'll see. I'm going to add the liquid. Put plenty of liquid in there. And maybe another cup. I can always put something in here to thicken this up. I really didn't make that roux, but I can add something later on to thicken it. Okay, I think I've got enough water in there now. I'm just going to bring this all to a boil. I'm going to scrape the bottom of that. Get some of that good old stuff mixed up in there. It kind of started to burn a little bit. That'll probably be good in there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, I could have diced these potatoes up just a hair smaller. I left them really big, but that's all right. Okay. I'm going to let this boil. Damn, I splattered that shit everywhere. Oh, I splattered that stuff. Excuse me. Excuse my French. I mean, it went everywhere. How's that possible? All I did was stir. Okay. I think I got that mess cleaned up. Alrighty. Alrighty. While this is boiling, I'll stop the camera and I'll get back with you and we'll go to the next step. Okay, I'm back. I've been cooking this for about 2 hours now. I looked it up to see how long it takes stew meat to cook. I saw two different things. One said about a couple hours simmering, and another one said 3 to 4 hours on low, which is not too far from simmer, I think. So anyway, I believe the carrots and potatoes are, whoa, open that lid, woo, that was hot. All right, I'm going to show you maybe this if I can. I don't know if you can see that without steaming the phone up. Can you see that at all in there? It's looking pretty good and it's smelling really good. So what I'm going to do now is I've got my onions cut up, and I didn't cut them up small up and big, but we'll see about that. My celery, and about a chunk of ginger. So I'm just going to saute that in celery and my onion. And I'm just going to try to get them going there. And, all right, I'm going to saute these real quick. I'm using this front burner. It's a small burner, so I don't know how it's going to work. But let's see if we can get these sauteed. And I don't know if it has to cook a whole lot longer. You know, the instructions I had in that book, it said once you cook your stew meat, potatoes and carrots together till the meat's tender, but it didn't say anything about. Then it says to add the celery and onions and I just got a bad piece of onion in there. I'm taking this piece of onion out. Then it said to add the onions and celery and your seasonings. Now, it didn't say to saute these, but I'm going to. And then I'm going to add all my seasonings, and I'm going to let it cook for maybe a little longer. Maybe, I don't know how long it'll take for the celery and onions to get done once I've sauteed it. I'm going to saute these. And I know you can't really see this, but it doesn't matter, does it? I'm going to saute these. These onions should start falling apart in there once it starts cooking. Put my lid on it. Alright. Get that going. And this should be pretty good. I don't really think I've ever cooked it. I think maybe once before I cooked a stew. Not sure if I did or not. I ain't cooked it too many times. This is either my first or second time cooking sort of a beef stew. And I may add a thickener to it. I'm not sure about that, if I'm going to do that either, but I might. Let's see, we're getting these onions warmed up. I know there's lots of ways to cook a beef stew, but I still thought it was kind of interesting. I'm still out of that one cookbook, and I thought I'd try that since I had the stew meat up there. And next time I think I'll move on to a different cookbook, probably. There's lots more I want to do out of that cookbook, but I'll come back to it later on. Next time I'll try a different recipe cookbook. Okay, it's starting to get good and hot. And you know, I put my piece of ginger in there too. I guess that's alright. Now this recipe it said to use parsley to taste, the red pepper flakes to taste, or red pepper to taste, and 2 teaspoons of molasses. But, you know, I probably got at least a couple tablespoons left in this bottle. I don't know. I could be messing it up. I don't know. And actually, it said to use 1 small onion. I actually used about 2 onions. 2 small or 2 medium. I may just put what's left in this molasses bottle in there. I don't think that could be too much, could it? And I really don't know how much red pepper. I'm gonna use quite a bit of red pepper. I like it kind of heated and spicy. Parsley, I don't know. I'll just put some in my hand and toss in a handful of it, I guess, and see how that goes. Okay. My celery was getting bad. I can't seem to use my celery up quick enough. So I used up what was good off my celery. And it wasn't much. In fact, I got another bag of celery in the icebox. I don't know exactly what I'm going to use that for, but I better think of something. Otherwise, it's going to go bad. So... yeah, some of these onions, they're starting to kind of fall apart now, so that's good. I'm going to let them get kind of brown on one side at least. See if I can brown them a little bit. Hopefully kind of caramelize them a little bit. Yeah, these onions are breaking up pretty good for me now. That's good. Trying to let them get kind of caramelized a little bit here. And so I'm going to caramelize them. And I don't know if I can show you this or not. I don't know, can you see that in there? Let's see. There's my onions and celery and chunk of ginger root. Okay, so I'm going to caramelize those. Then I'm going to add it to this rest of the stew here. And then I'm going to let that simmer for maybe another hour or so. Check it, see how everything is looking. And then when I get the finished product done, I'll turn this back on and give you a look at it and probably give it a taste test. So I'll see you then. Okay, I'm back, and so far, I started really cooking this about 1:30 on simmer, and so it's about 5 o'clock now, and I added the celery and onions after I sauteed them, the seasonings, and the molasses, and so, now it's going to be time for a taste test. This may not be, I've got some cornbread still left over. I got to eat some more cornbread, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to do a little small quick taste of this. taste test and see what this tastes like. It smells good and looks good. I'm going to try to get a little bit of everything. There's some potatoes, onions, and carrots. Not much meat there. There's some meat. That meat looks really tender. I don't think, I got some celery in there too, so that's pretty much everything in there. That ginger really smells good in this. I didn't add any cornstarch or anything to thicken it. I ended up using almost all what was left in that bottle of molasses, and I used about 2.5 tablespoons. Still, I probably got like another. By the time I get it all out of there, I'm probably getting another couple teaspoons, or maybe there might be a tablespoon in there. What's left in the bottom, but I used about 2.5 tablespoons. I didn't add any pepper to this. I added my red pepper in there. I'm going to sprinkle some pepper on this. And we'll give it a taste test and see what it's like. I don't know if you can see this or not without me spilling it all over the place. But it looks pretty good. Can you see that? All in there. There's some meat. There's a hunk of meat. Alright, let's taste this. It's hot. That tastes pretty dang good. Everything seems to be done. Celery's done. Onions. That is delicious. I suppose even with as much soy sauce as I had in there, they might want to put a little more salt in there. But it's plenty salty for me. Yeah, this is really good. Wow. Seems like it's just the right amount of seasonings. And so that's pretty much it. Hello. And if you try it, let me know. Tell me if you liked it. Or tell me how you make your beef stew. Alright, thank you, and I'll see you again.